That didn't get put in the thing because it cut out. Damn it. I hate this 20-minute cap. Anyways. All right. So, recap real quick. Green Bay trades out. Cleveland takes Bryce Petty. New Orleans, they take Max Williams. In New England, they take Jalen Collins to help with the loss of... I forgot to start the timer. They help with the loss of Brandon Browner and Darrelle Revis. Joe, thoughts?
That was... Chaos was a good time.
Indeed, indeed.
That would be interesting. If that happens, I'm going to be freaked out.
We got proof. I predicted that shit. All right.
I don't know. From the Green Bay perspective, I'm cool with picking around too.
Yeah. I mean, Jalen Collins was still available, and I was thinking about giving taking that, but which I wouldn't mind in real life. But I mean, if they want to just collect picks and go fill a devastating.
Granted, our last 2 years, our first round pick has panned out. But other than that,
well, I mean,
our good players come from
second round. I mean, the studs come from the second round.
Yeah.
Dayton Jones is like,
yeah.
But then Eddie Lacy is like, All right, moving on. All right, so we're finally going to get into the NFC AFC South breakdown, starting with the Saints and the Bucs. Saints, Joe, will Mark Ingram continue to improve as he did last year? Will he finally break that 1,000 cap mark and be a legitimate threat? Keep in mind, Joe, and our viewers at home, they added C.J. Spiller, so that's bound to take away touches.
I'm going to say no, he doesn't break 1,000. Never looked like a...
Came close last year.
Came close.
And he missed a couple games. So arguably, if he hadn't missed those games...
No, he's never looked good to me. Personal opinion, I say no.
All right.
Spiller's a solid back.
I think if Spiller stays injury-free, it may be hard for him to buck 1,000. Because when Spiller is injury-free and he's working the system, dude can be electrifying. So, I mean, he may or may not get third down touches, and then Mark may have to split first and second down touches. So it'll be hard.
Yeah,
it'll be hard. But I mean, it all depends on if Spiller fits in the system and works well, and two, if he stays healthy. If those two things don't happen, then yeah, Mark Ingram probably just by attrition alone will probably break 1,000. But moving on. Should the Saints fire Rob Ryan? The reason why I bring this up is because Rob Ryan has developed a history. First year with the team, really good defense, like top 10, top 15, top 12, something like that. And then the next 2 years falling off terribly. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this will be the third year with the Saints. So, that being said, I know in Dallas he had one really good season and two shitty seasons. They kicked his ass to the curb. Do you think they need to start looking for a new D coordinator?
They got to do something. That, aside from his first year, that defense has been
abysmal, devastated.
I would look elsewhere.
I mean, come on, you get Jarius Byrd, you got Vinny Vaccaro, and they both suck. Like, I know Jarius Byrd got injured with a season-ending injury, but before that, he was getting burnt and all this other shit. So, yeah. From what I hear, Rob Ryan's defense is just too complex for the players. Moving on to the last question about the Saints. Can C.J. Spiller be an effective weapon for the Saints?
Like you said, depends if it fits the system.
Yeah.
I think he can.
I mean,
good back.
It could be Darren Sproles 2.0. He's a little bit bigger than Sproles, a little taller. But, he's pretty fast, shifty. So, and I know at one point the Bills were trying to use CJ at wide receiver. So, I mean, if that says anything, he might have some really good receiving skills. So, yeah, some backfield screens and other things. I mean, shit, if he gets rolling, man. I mean, I know they're talking about, CJ Spiller, Mark Ingram, they lose Jimmy Graham, they're trying to get away from the pass and really fortify the run. Yeah, but, man, especially if they go out and draft at least one weapon in the first round, like Nelson Aguilar or Max Williams or something, man, they might not necessarily be getting away from the pass. They may be trying to bring balance, but
I don't know, though. I think a screen game maybe could bode well for them.
yeah, because if they set it up with like some good passing,
Yeah,
I mean, then people start to come after
Breeze had to go downfield a lot last season. Didn't bode too well for him.
Yeah. All right.
Of course, he's old. He should retire.
All right. So moving on to the Buccaneers. If the Bucs pick Jameis, can Jameis get them out of the cellar? Because the Bucs have been bad for a good minute now.
It ain't gonna happen in one season.
I don't know. Andrew Luck took his team from like worst team in the NFL to playoffs first season.
Andrew Luck, Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston's also going to be walking into a better cast, a better supporting cast.
I don't think his head's
I mean,
right. Yeah.
you got Vincent Jackson, you got Austin Seferian-Jenkins at tight end, you got Mike Evans out there, Doug Martin if he gets his shit together, and if he doesn't get his shit together, they got like 3 other running backs back there.
Still don't see it. He's not going to pull an Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He shows a lot of potential, and God knows they need something to happen because they have been.
Yeah.
They've been pretty much abysmal since they were. I remember them being good when they were in the division with Green Bay and Detroit and Chicago.
Yeah.
I remember them being a rivalry and competitive. That since then.
Well, then they like shortly after that, didn't they, like they went to the NFC South, and then isn't that when they won the Super Bowl? Like
What year was that? Like
that was 02.
Yeah, 01 or 02.
Yeah, it was like the 02 Super Bowl.
Yeah, but after that.
And then, well, they got rid of Gruden. They got rid of Chucky. Funny, because they used to be in that division, and then they went and got one of that division's stable coaches in Lovie Smith. Speaking of which, will Lovie get them a winning season? Or is this going to be a failed project for Lovie?
I think they need a different coach than Lovie.
I think they need new uniforms. Because those uniforms look god ugly. I was playing Madden, and I created a defensive tackle, a rookie defensive tackle pass rusher. I'm playing for the Bucs just because they're one of the few teams that run a fucking 4-3, and they use pass rushing defensive tackles. There's only like 4. Like the Jags, the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and the Bucs. That's it. That run a 4-3 and use pass rushing defensive tackles. Anyways, man, I'm like cringing every time I'm like playing because like, God, these uniforms are fugly. But I mean, you're handed Darrelle Revis and you can't make it work. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I know he was supposed to be lauded as like a defensive mind and a defensive guru, but then again, you know, so was what's his name? The guy that just got fired in Atlanta. Hey, what was that guy's name? Something Smith. Anyways, he was supposed to be a defensive mind as well, but that was always their Achilles heel in Atlanta. The defensive-minded coach had an amazing offense and terrible defense. Yeah. I imagine he'll get them a winning season in his tenure there, but I don't know if they ever see the playoffs with Lovie.
No.
What was the Falcons' former head coach just got fired?
Mike Smith?
Mike Smith, that's him. He was a defensive coordinator for Jaguars when Jack Del Rio was coaching. But, yeah. So, Joe, last question for the Bucs before we move on to part 3. Yeah. All right. Is there any chance in hell they don't take Jameis Winston? Or perhaps a more appropriate... Okay, flat out said no. But I was gonna say, is there a more appropriate question? Might be what percentage would you say? But you say 0%. You say it's pretty much a done deal.
They can't continue. If they want a winning season, they can't continue with a career journeyman.
Well, what career journeyman? He's gone. He's with the Cleveland Browns.
No, I didn't even know they are. Who do they have?
They have Mike Lennon.
Even better.
Yeah, Josh McCown is battling Johnny Manziel for the starting job in Cleveland.
Ooh.
And I think old Johnny can pull it out.
Headliner.
Johnny can pull it out, man. Especially if they go get DGB. Come on. Johnny excelled at that toss him up, trust your receiver type play. Come on, he had Mike Evans.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, then, yeah, they definitely need to grab Winston.
Well, what about Mariota?
Let's face it, they're going to go with Winston.
They're going to go with Winston. I mean, it fits Florida. I don't know if he's from Florida, but played at Florida State, goes and plays for Florida in the pros. Mariota, I don't really know.
Like we've talked about before, Winston can step in now.
Yeah.
Mariota needs to develop
Yeah.
in the pro system.
I mean, there's a chance he can do that in his rookie season, but he's going to look terrible in his rookie season. He's going to just get thrown to the wolves, and he's going to have a Blake Bortles, Derek Carr type of rookie season. Now, both of those guys are considered promising young talents.
Yeah.
But, yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut it there. Plenty of time to spare. Because we're hungry. And as soon as we get done with the show, we can eat. Yeah! Get some froyo! Alright, so, Attack of the Pack, we'll be back.